What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be breaking down how to ask for advice. No, it's not that easy, so I'm going to help you all out. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. This is Matt with Open Microtomy. Dropped now on the Lamb Like the Animal channel because I can't keep my priorities together. Had to start something new, so sorry for the break in between these videos. I know that there was a weekly occurrence. Now we're going to be bi-weekly, just as an update. If you're watching this in the future, none of this makes any sense because this is the internet and you can just watch these anytime that you want to, and it's totally fine, and none of this actually matters. But hey, you know what? This intro isn't for you. I love you still because you're my fan, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you don't like me at all. Maybe you're watching this video and make fun of me. That's totally fine. I'll take the views. I'll take any views I can get, boy. Take anything I can get. And that's the advice I want to give you today. No. The advice I want to give you today is how to ask for advice, which is not as easy as it sounds sometimes because people can be intimidating, so I'm going to tell you how to make them a little less intimidating. One of the best ways you can start asking for advice is to know what you're asking advice about. If you just want somebody to if you just ask, hey, how do I become funny? No one's going to have an exact answer for you because there's a million questions and there's a million answers that they can give you that are going to help you out. Instead, figure out exactly what you're going for. Do you want to get better at writing jokes? Do you want to get better at how you look on stage? Do you want to get better at how you speak? Do you want to get better at how you look? Think about what you want to improve on, and that's going to help you improve along the way. Because if you just ask, hey, how do I get funnier? No one knows exactly what your problem is. If you don't know what your own problem is, you're never going to be able to fix your problem. So, what you need to do is, first thing, figure out what you're trying to figure out. Otherwise, you're not even going to know what to ask these people. Second thing that you're going to want to do is try to find the people who are similar to you. Otherwise, your styles, you can't just ask anybody anything. You can't ask a story comic how to write a one-liner. I mean, obviously they're going to be able to help you out because they're comics and they do know what they're doing, but find somebody who has the style closest to you. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to figure out how to get your own style going. If I ask somebody in my scene who is used to telling story jokes and is used to being able to go on stage and kind of really use their personality to make their jokes pop versus their writing, not to say that they don't write, but to say that there's different ways of going about your comedy, and some people do different things. And story comics, in my opinion, again, this is a lot of opinions, but in my opinion, story comics really rely on their personality a lot and things and being able to tell a good story, and that comes a lot from personality versus sitting down and writing clever wordplay. And yes, there are storyteller comics who do these things, don't get me wrong, but it really comes down to whether or not that style is going to match yours. If you're like me, I like a lot of short form, I like a lot of punchier stuff, I like a lot of small pieces kind of strung together versus telling one big story. So I'm gonna try to find somebody who's similar to that style and be like, hey, I can't make this joke work. What do you think might happen? Because if I go up to a story comic and I say, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to make this short form joke work, what would you do? They're gonna be able to help, obviously. They're a comic. We generally have pretty decent advice. But they're not gonna help you as much as somebody who's better at the thing that they're doing than the other person. Everybody has their own. It's like asking, I mean, imagine in baseball. If you're a second baseman in baseball, do you go ask the left fielder how to do something? No, you ask another second baseman. I think. I don't know. I don't understand sports analogies. I'm a comedian, I'm trying to help you out here. Don't make fun of me. Laugh at me in different ways. Another thing that you can do is set up meetings with multiple comics and set up sort of like a writer's table. This is going to help you immensely. Some of the best advice I've ever gotten from comic tables didn't happen because I sat down with a bunch of people and we all kind of workshopped. That's what we all started to try to do. It's what we wanted to happen when we set aside these little meetings. But instead, what ends up happening is everyone gets through maybe one joke and then everyone just sort of starts riffing and it just becomes just a little bit of a comic hangout at wherever you're at. And that helps so much. Just being around comics and having conversations outside of an open mic environment and just being around these people, these different minds. And once that conversation kind of starts and it all builds into just dudes riffing, and it goes from just being a workshop to dudes having a conversation that are riffing off of things that you've already said before. So it goes from, oh, hey, I want to work on this joke and I want to get people's advice on so and so and so. It turns into just a chaotic, fun mess, and that has been some of the best comic stuff that I've ever gotten. Is it goes from not knowing at all what's going to happen to now this joke that has nothing to do with what we just talked about now has all this weird context that has been coming up from the conversation, whether or not it actually relates to your joke. As long as you're not borrowing stuff from other people's jokes and putting it into your own, if you're kind of going off of what's been happening in the conversation based, and you can kind of put it in your joke, live off of that energy, and if you can bring that fun into your jokes and work around that, that's gonna make you'll naturally do that on stage. If you can remember the fun times that you've had, push yourself and remember how that felt, your jokes are gonna have a little bit more of a snap to them. So set up comic meetings. They are absolutely invaluable. 100%. Do it. Another thing that you can do is find somebody who shows up to mics earlier than other people, or ask somebody to show up earlier. Doing this is going to make sure that when you show up to an open mic, you're going to have somebody to talk to, so you can maybe run through jokes before the mic even starts, which is going to help you a lot, because if you don't have anything to go off of when you first start, and you have just nothing, and you are bringing raw material, you can work it out on stage and it's going to be fine. Or you can find somebody to talk to before you go on stage, and you can fine-tune things even before you take them to the stage. The stage is for making really broad cuts. That's when you're gonna know, like, I need to take this away, I need to take this away, I need XYZ gone, I need XYZ added. The stage is gonna give that to you because you're gonna get that live feedback. Before you go on stage, that's when you can make small little fine details before you even go up there, so that it might hold together a little bit better, so that you're not going to be having to make these enormous strokes as you're going about it. You might still have to make some big edits, but instead of having these giant edits, if you just tweak a few things before you even go up, it might just make your joke work right then and there, and then you're not going to have to make these giant cuts. Not to say that a minor tweak before is going to, like, not result in a huge cut later. It sounds like a little bit of nonsense, but trust me, just making small improvements now can stop you from having to make large edits later. The best way that I can explain it is, if you put something together really, really tight, it's not going to fall apart as easily. But if you go in with something really loose, it's going to fall apart and things are going to kind of fall off. And then you might not even think that you need that thing that fell off. But what you might not realize is that thing that fell off could be just another piece that you couldn't make work before, and you got rid of it without really realizing that it was still working. If you can just tighten some screws and get those things together before you take it to the stage, it's gonna hold together, and then something that you thought you didn't need turns out to be a part of the joke that is absolutely necessary. It's things like that that you're gonna notice along the way. It's very hard to pick up on these things as you go along, because this isn't an exact science, obviously, so don't take anything that I'm saying to heart, but these are things that I've personally noticed. I've noticed that when I talk to somebody before I go on stage and I say, hey, do I need to change the wording on this? Is the pacing weird on this? Like, just find the things that you're kind of worried about and then ask somebody. And that's where I say, meet with somebody beforehand, ask somebody that you trust to meet up with you before the mic, just run through some stuff and do the same thing for them. And that teaching is another great way to learn. So if somebody's going to start asking you for help while you are asking them for help, you're going to help them write their jokes, you're going to help yourself write your own jokes along the way, and you're going to build this kind of partnership, and you're going to have somebody that you can trust when you first get there, and B, it's really, really useful to build an alliance of people that you know are able to write jokes similar to how you write jokes. Because there are plenty of comics that I've known, and I've met so many cool people. I love doing comedy. It's a huge passion of mine. If I asked every comic how to help me write jokes, I would have hundreds of different jokes that are the exact same joke. It's true. That everyone's gonna tell you different things that you can do better, different things that you can do worse. Everyone's gonna have their own take on what you can do. So when I say find someone before you go on stage, really just find the one person to kind of help you fine tweak before you go on stage. Writing tables, as I mentioned earlier, are great for just kind of bulk material and having a really good time, and they will help you write because it is just a blast, or rather, just in general, it's just a great thing. But they're not going to be able to help you fine tune as much versus a one-on-one with somebody that you know writes similar to you. So, hope any of that made sense. I know it was a little bit chaotic. I'm kind of rushing through this one today because I haven't done these videos in a while. Kind of forgot my format a little bit, not gonna lie, but you know what? We're all working together, we're having a blast. I really hope that any of this made sense. If you think it made sense, let me know in the comments. If you think that I'm an inane, rambling idiot, let me know in the comments. Make sure you ring that bell, hit that subscribe button, do all the things that I need you to do so that I can keep bringing these back to you and you can become a better comic like me, because I'm awesome. Thank you so much. I'm Matt with Open Microtomy. Follow Lamb Like the Animal. Peace.